Tonight's news. Foreign Minister Ayman Safadi, his Syrian counterpart and U.S. envoy to Syria hold trilateral talks to back Syria's truce and stability. U.S. envoy to Syria praises Jordan's leadership in supporting Sweda ceasefire and highlights its regional role in promoting long-term stability in Syria. And Israeli strikes have killed 98 Palestinians with over 500 injured over the past 48 hours. Welcome to the details. Foreign Minister Ayman Safadi held a trilateral meeting with Syrian Foreign Minister Asad al-Shaybani and U.S. Ambassador to Turkey and Special Envoy to Syria Thomas Barak. The talks focused on the situation in Syria and efforts to solidify the ceasefire reached at dawn around the Sweda governorate, aimed at stopping bloodshed and safeguarding civilians. During the meeting, Safadi and Barak reaffirmed their support for the ceasefire and the Syrian government's efforts to implement it. They expressed full solidarity with Syria's security, stability, sovereignty and territorial integrity, stressing that Syrian stability is essential to regional peace. The three parties agreed on practical steps to help Syria implement the truce, including measures to ensure state authority and the rule of law are restored across all Syrian territory. Key points included maintaining the ceasefire, deploying Syrian security forces in Sweda, releasing detainees from all sides, promoting local reconciliation, strengthening civil peace, and enabling humanitarian aid access. Minister al-Shaybani praised Jordan and the U.S. for their constructive roles in reaching and supporting the ceasefire and advancing efforts to restore Syria's stability and protect its citizens. Foreign Minister Ayman al-Safadi met with U.S. Ambassador to Turkey and Special Envoy to Syria Tom Barak to discuss the situation in Syria and the newly agreed ceasefire in Sweda. The two discussed the importance of fully implementing the truce to preserve Syria's unity and civilian safety. Safadi praised the U.S. role in helping reach the agreement and reaffirmed Jordan's continued cooperation with Washington. He underscored Jordan's full solidarity with Syria's security, sovereignty and territorial integrity and condemned repeated Israeli strikes on Syrian territory as clear violation of international law and threats to regional stability. In a post on X, U.S. Ambassador to Turkey and Special Envoy to Syria Thomas Barak praised Jordan's leadership role in the region, particularly in relation to recent developments in Syria. Barak expressed his gratitude for Jordan's partnership in helping implement the ceasefire in Sweda, describing the kingdom as a vital regional leader and a key player in efforts to support peace and security. He noted progress toward building a stable, united Syria that lives in peace with its neighbors and reaffirmed U.S. support for collaborative efforts aimed at long-term regional stability. Syrian President Ahmed al-Sharra said Syria will not allow any separatist agendas and warned against fueling sectarian tensions. He asserted that only the state has the authority to preserve sovereignty across Syrian territory. His remarks came following the announcement of a nationwide ceasefire in Sweda province, and the presidency urged full compliance and called on all parties to allow state institutions to enforce the truce. It also warned that any violation would be considered a breach of national sovereignty and pledged firm action to uphold law and order. Over to Gaza, where Israeli strikes have killed at least 98 Palestinians and injured 511 others in just the past 48 hours. The Ministry of Health reported that many victims are still trapped under rubble or in areas unreachable by emergency crews. The total death toll since October 2023 has now reached nearly 58,800, with more than 140,400 others injured. United States President Donald Trump announced that 10 more hostages held in Gaza would soon be released, but offered no further details. His statement comes as indirect negotiations between Israel and Hamas continue in the Qatari capital Doha, with no breakthrough publicly confirmed.
Gaza, we got most of the hostages back. We're going to have another 10 coming very shortly. And we hope to have that finished pretty quickly. And Steve Witkoff has been fantastic. He's done a great job in that. He's a very good man, good deal maker. I said, I need a good deal maker with a good personality, and there aren't too many of them, but Steve is, and he's done a great job.
The UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, said that Gaza's war deepening fuel shortages and displacement are normalizing collective deprivation for its people. OCHA said Israel issued new evacuation orders in northern Gaza, with hospitals reporting an alarming number of child and adult malnutrition cases amid severe shortages in treatment supplies. Despite limited fuel deliveries, Gaza's energy crisis has worsened, halting solid waste collection and shutting down water wells, particularly in Deir al-Balah. Back here at home, where a military source confirmed that the Southern Military Zone, in coordination with security and anti-narcotics agencies, intercepted a drone attempting to smuggle drugs across Jordan's western border. The border guards, the border guard units, applied engagement protocols, shut down the drone and seized the payload, which has been transferred to relevant authorities. The Jordan Armed Forces reaffirmed their determination to prevent the infiltration of narcotics and defend national security. That's it for tonight. Thank you for watching.